This is where the CDT and the GDT actually intersect, right here. From Waterton Lakes National Park, let's find out how's the hike to Boundary Bay. No boundaries today. Little shot back at the trailhead. Look at the campsite. She's empty. Woo! Late season in Waterton, but a stunning day. I couldn't resist getting out for another night. You know, adding to the total. But look at this. What an October day. Temperature in the van showing me like 15 and a half, which is amazing. It's about 60 Fahrenheit if you're from the States. And a bluebird. Windy, but a bluebird. So I thought, why not? But why Boundary Bay? We'll talk about that in a bit. But let's get moving first. Certainly I'll get this shot for you in the morning, but with different sun. Look at that view. Just gorgeous. What a day. Just past that beautiful shot I just gave you in the wind, you can see Bertha Lake, Bertha Falls. We're heading down to Boundary Bay. Bertha Bay is also there, available as well. These are campsites, of course. And I've done 1.5 kilometers from Waterton. So, yeah. Why am I not going up past Bertha Falls to Bertha Bay? Well, squint in there, that's why. The snow line. Yeah, and the dark. I mean, it's already dark up there, right? I mean, it's going to get dark here soon, too, because of the way the mountains run from north to south, but I'll have a lot more sunshine here than I would if I was going up to the lake. So with an early sunset and chilly temperatures, makes for a long, dark night in the campsite. No need for the bridge at this point. Bertha Bay campsite, bear storage. And a little further south on the trail, we get to the eating area of this campsite. I'll show you that. Great spot, great view. It'd be pretty tough to have a fire tonight. That wind, it's typically always windy here. Can you see that with the sun? Let's try it here now. Oh boy. There you go. There's the map of the campsite. Show you those tent pads. There you go. I'll show you this one. They're all going to be similar and they all go around kind of in a circle. So go that way. Go that way. What a spot though, huh? Oh my goodness. Put your tent here. Look at that view. Bertha Bay. The lake is angry today. Back through the first eating area. Heading back now toward the border. And our campsite for the night, you and I. Just want to show you there is another eating area tucked back in there with a fire ring. A steel fire ring, which means it's legal and you can use it. Probably to get you, whoa! Probably to get you out of the wind. Well, we're not quite there yet, and we are going to talk about that in this video. Look at this part of the trail. Wow. Give a little wave to the wildlife camera. There you go. Well, I point this out. All other places I'll point it out here. It's about the 9th tree down on the trail. I mean, it is late in the season. I don't expect them to be out here clearing. There was a, oh, there we go. There was a fire here, so you get all snags coming down, right? Be pretty endless for them, I would imagine. They'll get to it in the spring, but no big deal. A little more of a detour here. Ready? We'll hop together. Here we go. Thank you. Hello. At least you didn't flap off and scare me this time like your friend back there. What are you gonna do? Oh boy. You lead me in the right way? Hell. Might have to crawl. All right, it's becoming a video about trees. Didn't expect that. No. Beautiful and calm in here out of the wind. This is lovely here. That'd be a great spot for a campsite. Should be the home stretch at this point. Coming into camp, one last little obstacle. So I'll get around this and I'm going to show you camp and find a place to pitch my tent. All right, walking into camp, interesting looking outhouse. It's just one of these famous ones I've been told about. Let's have a look. Press 5 times. All right, very clean outhouse, very nice. Coming out from the outhouse, intersecting the trail. And the border is right here. So where's the camp? Oh, it's right here on the border. Holy moly. So there's the border, and I'm still on the Canadian side. The border and the cut line that shows the border. And then there's the US over there. And then the camp is, there's the cut line. You can see I'm still on the Canadian side. Wow, and then camp is up here. Right on the border. All right. There's camp. I've shown you the outhouse. Obviously, there's another one, an eating area. Let's go up here and let's see. Just a few steps up from the sign. Look at this, beautiful eating area. Fire pit with a ring. Let me just show you this. There's your fire pit with a ring, very nice. Wouldn't be much firewood left here, I wouldn't think. And there, right here, I'm not stepping any further. There's the US border, like literally right there. Wow. All right, let's go find tent pads. I'm not gonna be too fussy tonight. There's a tent pad right there that I may take. But I'll show you this too, just up from the eating area. Right through there. Those are your bear storage bins. And they are quite different than the ones you typically see in Banff and Jasper. I showed you them earlier at Bertha Bay. I think this is home for the night right here. Like, why wouldn't you? Right? Like right here. Why go any further? There's tent. There's a beautiful level pad. There's eating area. That's it. All right, I'm going to get set up. And let's talk about Waterton. All right, I found an appropriate spot to sit in Canada. Apropos, yeah, the U.S. border just over that way as I look at it. I'll show you that in a second, actually. Let's just talk about Waterton really quickly. There are a lot of hiking possibilities here, and there's a chance of a lot of one-nighters. I mean, seriously, this is a one-nighter. Bertha Bay, Bertha Lake are one-nighters. Really easy one-nighters, if I can be honest. Even at this, just around, what is it, like just under 6K. Super easy walk. A little up and down, but so what? And then there's Alderson Lake, and there's more. Like, I'm going to flash up. First, let me flash up. This is the backcountry map of Waterton Lakes National Park. You can see all of the opportunities here for backcountry camping and backpacking, hiking, all that sort of stuff, day hiking. And let me flash up where I'm at and the loop I was thinking of doing. So this is a loop that Scott had pitched to another friend of his, and he told me that they might come down and do it at some point. I thought, well, that's interesting, because you come down from Waterton, you dip into the U.S., into Glacier National Park in Montana, and you make a big right to the west, and you go on their north boundary trail for a short time only, and then climb steeply back up into Waterton, come down to Alderson Lake, and then come back to Waterton. So when I looked at that, I was just in Grasslands National Park recently, the video's here. I was thinking of coming straight back, staying south, you know, and coming along the southern border on the roads there, and coming straight to Waterton and doing that loop. And unfortunately, it was going to snow, and you can still see the remnants of that snow right now. It's only been maybe 10 days since that snow came through, and I'm like, So I went and did another hike instead, the Sunshine Coast Trail with Scott, actually. Here's a link to that. And it's a promotional video brought to you by Other House to Hike Hikes. Anyway, so then I thought, well, okay, I'll go down. We had a beautiful window of weather, as you can see right now. And I thought, well, I'll go down to Waterton, I'll do that loop. And then I saw the snow line. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not doing the loop. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go up to Bertha Lake. And I saw the snow line. And I mean, it's already dark here. You can see the sun behind me, but the campsite is behind the camera that way. And it's dark and it's cold already. So I'm like, I'm not going to go up and hit the dark at 3 o'clock at Bertha Lake, which is pretty much what it would have been. So here we are at the international border. The other cool thing about sitting here is that this is the southern start of the GDT, or the terminus if you go southbound. So this is where the GDT in Canada starts or ends, and the CDT in the United States ends typically. Most people start in Mexico and end here, and then they continue to hike through to Waterton, come around to Chief Mountain, which is now closed as I do this video, and head back into the US. You could also start here and head southbound on the CDT. This is where the CDT and the GDT actually intersect, right here where I'm sitting. And one of the things, I've been out here before, one of the things that's always surprised me is that there's no GDT or CDT marker here at all, in either direction. No commemoration of the event. You wouldn't know you were on the CDT or the GDT. So if you're watching this and you're involved with both of those associations, how about a marker? Like, this is a big deal if you start or end the GDT here or the CDT here. So let's get some markers up. I mean, these are pretty cool too. But anyway, finally, the last thing I want to say is if you're going to do the loop like I was thinking of doing, or if you're going into Glacier National Park from Waterton, you have to let the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol know that you're coming in. And it's super easy. All you have to do is download the CBP Roam app and use it. You could actually probably use it right here, right now, because I have a couple of bars of 5G. I'm on Bell in Canada, so if you're on Bell or Telus, you probably have the same service that I would have here. Not sure about Rogers, but typically when we've come into Glacier National Park from Waterton, I've done it twice. I usually do the CBP Roam app while I'm in Waterton before I leave, because if you're going to take the boat down to Goat Haunt on the tour and go back to Waterton, you don't need it, because this is an international peace park. It's got a special designation. If I'm wrong, I'll flash up the correct name. But if you're going to enter the U.S. to go backpacking in Glacier or something, you do have to use the CBP Roam app, and you can use it while you have great cell service in Waterton and get it over with. Years ago, maybe they still do, there used to be like a Starlink or an internet connection down here at Goat Haunt, which is not even an hour probably backpacking from here. I'm not sure it's there. I would use it before you enter the US from Canada, just to be on the safe side. If you're coming into Canada, as I showed you in this video a few minutes ago, there is a phone number you call. There's no app. There's a phone number you call and you can re-enter Canada. I've done that as well. So there you go. Lots of opportunities in Waterton, lots of great one-night stands, this will be on that playlist. If you're getting out testing gear, if you're getting out and wanting to experience overnight backpacking for the very first time, or you're new to the sport and you're trying overnights, these are great places in Waterton to come and go for a backpack. Short distances, easy trails for the most part, a little bit up and down, but that's good to test gear. And you'll typically always be with others. Unless you're out here late in the season like me, I've got this place all to myself. I think I mentioned in the trip planning video a while ago for me, mere seconds for you in the video, but I actually mentioned the entry to the US. Let me just show you. We're going to zoom in. And this is all the signage as you enter the US over there. And you can see they're mentioning the CBP Roam app that I mentioned as well in the trip planning video. So just make sure you download that and use it in Waterton before you come down. I mean, there is cell service here, like I also said, but better to be safe than sorry. Let's go have a look, though, at the difference between that as you enter the US and what we see on the Canadian side. Here's all I see, except for the sign I showed you earlier, as I've mentioned earlier. All I really see coming into Canada right at the border is this. And basically all the park is telling you that if you have a firearm and you're coming in from the US, you need to talk to the wardens. And then they talk about wildlife cameras. And in the morning when we leave, I'll show you that there's another sign up here that if I remember, I'll show you that it's the same thing as we saw when we came in about being attacked by wildlife. Not quite as scary as the Banff ones about can you deploy your bear spray in 2 seconds, but a lot more of those fearful signs out in the parks this year. Woo, what do you think? Good look? Oh man, that's a wrap on today. I'm gonna get back in the tent. It's cold. It's funny looking at the camera on my iPhone and how much light there is in the video compared to what I'm looking at right now. And I made the mistake in the last video, I think it was the Sunshine Coast Trail, where I said goodnight with a beautiful sunset and it's like I'm in the dark. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get out now and get this done. So yeah, really awesome. You know what? That's a pretty good hike in from Waterton, actually. There's lots of scenery, lots to do. It's kind of fun being at the border and thinking about possibilities, thinking about the GDT and the CDT and maybe that loop hike, and I don't know. It's also amazing to be out here. It's, is it third week in November? Almost the third week in November. Let me say that again. Woo! Maybe I will get to say that. It's the third week of October. So it's really nice to be out. It reminds me of a number of years ago when Scott and I did the rock wall. I think we started on the 15th of October. But same thing today that's happened then is it gets cold and it starts to get dark. When you're on the western side here of any of these valleys, it starts to get dark at about 3 and starts to get cold by 5. And so you're 14 hours in the tent. So I'm going to say it like I said earlier. 5 seconds for you, 14 hours for me. See you in the morning. Good morning, day 2, and I'm already underway. It was a wee bit dark when I started and the sun is still not out. Oh my gosh, what a night. It's still windy. It was one of the windiest nights I've ever had, backpacking. And I think as a result, I didn't sleep. I say as a result because I don't know why else I wouldn't sleep, but it was noisy. And you're just waiting for a crack in the trees. Not like I was like, oh, I'm going to get crushed by a tree or something. But, it's just, even with earplugs in, it was just way, way loud. So I'm a bit groggy. But I'm almost to Bertha Bay. And then I just remember, I'm like, oh, wait, I haven't said good morning yet. So good morning. Sorry about that. It's, I think it's not even 9 o'clock yet. So let's get to Bertha because I also have a Footwear Fiasco update. Never ends. Alright, back to Bertha Bay, about halfway, and holy, oh wait, remember yesterday I showed you there is another eating area back here out of the wind. I need a granola bar. I didn't have any coffee either. No coffee, no breakfast. I'll have that at the trailhead. Again, it's like 5.8K, right? So an hour and 15 minutes from me. No big deal, but I do need some food. It's cold. Where's the sun? That's behind the mountains to the east. That's where the sun is. Holy mackerel. Anyway, I'll keep this brief. A little Footwear Fiasco update. So, here's an image of the Solomon boots that they gave me for free this summer because of my trials and tribulations. And here's when I first put them on. And did a few hikes with them. This is when I showed you that they had started leaking in the toe box. They had started leaking before that actually, but that was the first time I had a chance to actually sit down and do a video. And here's an image of last night. You know, I had a lot of time in the tent, so I'm just poking around looking at gear and stuff. And yeah, these are the Solomon boots that I've had for just a few months. Brand new from Solomon, so they hadn't been sitting around on, you know, a shelf at a store somewhere. They came right from the manufacturer, and they're ripping apart. They're ripping apart. They're not worn out, you know, nothing like. They're literally, the tread is falling apart. The sole is disintegrating. Now, I'm starting to sound like the cranky old guy who's like, why isn't anything like it used to be? That's really not what I'm saying. I mean, these boots are they 3 months old? I mean, this is crazy. And yeah, I've hiked a lot, but I haven't done a through hike on them. I'm not even sure how many kilometers I put on these boots, but come on, like, they're ripping apart. You got to admit that's kind of crazy. So anyway, your Footwear Fiasco update. All right, I'm going to have another granola bar, but I'm not going to sit long because it's cold. And I'm about halfway back to the car. That looks rather steep. I don't really remember that from yesterday. Whew. You can see how long my shadow is. Sun just coming up. Waterton town site, still in the dark. Won't be long. Par for the course this time of year. One last shot of a pretty quiet Waterton at this point. You know, we're mid to late October. That said, I just met a wonderful group of day hikers going out. A group of ladies. We had a nice conversation. And they made a comment that well, that's why I'm bringing it up. They said, you know, we're just so lucky to be out here doing this right now. And we sure are. Like I said, getting into late October, gorgeous weather. And it's not like that every year, so especially for this part of the world, right? Anyway, very lucky. Let's go wrap it up. Will I see animals on the trail, Stu? No, come back to the trailhead. Come back to town. Well, there you go, wrapping it up. Another one-nighter. A lot of great one-nighters here in Waterton, like I talked about yesterday when I was talking about how to hike here. One loop that I've been interested in doing, as I mentioned as well. You could probably put another loop together as well by exiting the park on the other side, but mostly one-nighters and fairly easy ones as well. So, you know, part of always what we've been doing here and what I really feel passionate about is kind of getting day hikers into backpacking and promoting our amazing sport. And getting people out here and spending a night in these wild places, disconnected from, you know, all the stuff that distracts us during the day normally. So, yeah, this is another easy one. Bertha Lake would have been an easy one. There's some construction going on here. And squirrels. Alderson Lake would be a bit steeper going up, but again, not difficult. And there's some more out the other way off the parkway as well. So check out Waterton if you haven't already. And get out here and enjoy it. Even in the shoulder seasons, get out here and enjoy these places. You know, like we get this late in the season, you got to start looking for shorter hikes, which is perfect for these the one night stand playlist here on the channel, because, you know, I could do a 2-nighter for sure, maybe a 3-nighter, but at this point in the year, you got to start picking and choosing where to go, and this is perfect. Any questions or comments about Waterton or anything else, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching.